Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm shooting this video in some different location today. I was somewhere in this side of Machakos. Yes, so there is something that I've just read this afternoon, that Kenya leaves out Nyanza roads in the new tenders. This is a story that I want us to dig through critically, because it is something that is not very good news as the country speaks about equality. Major roads and bridges in the Nyanza region are conspicuously missing in the latest Kenya National Highways Authority (KENHA) that were floated on maintenance. And I've tried to look at the list. The KENHA listed 165 roadworks to be undertaken across 11 regions for the quarter 1 and 2 in the financial year 2023-2024, but roads in the Nyanza region were left out. The road agency has only listed one road that connects Kisii to Kadongo, extending to Ahero, in a region with many roads to repair. In William Ruto's Rift Valley backyard, I think this is very important. I want us to get it. A total of 40 roads have been earmarked to be maintained. South Rift have 10 developed, while North Rift have 30. In Mount Kenya, a total of 37 roads will be maintained using taxpayers' money. And out of the 37, 11 will be in Central and the rest are in the Upper Eastern. The others in the Upper Eastern, which are then that comes to 26, are in the counties of Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and Meru. Then in the Northeastern, there are 37 roads. And in Lower Eastern, which is Makueni, Kilifi, and Machakos, there will be 22. The Western regions, 10 roads are earmarked for maintenance. 10. In Western, it is 10. But in Nyanza, there is none. In the coast, 2 roads are earmarked for Nairobi. And then in Mombasa, the coast, there is Mariakani kwa Jomvu, 8 road. Now, the professor further noted that Nyanza deserved its share of development, considering that, of course, this question has been there. Professor Gola mentioned that that the region contributed to fuel levies like every other part of the country. This money allegedly is the maintenance from the fuel levy, the levy on the fuel. There is a levy that is taken, is actually deducted from those buying fuel, consuming fuel for the construction of the road. And it has come clearly that no region has been left, Nyanza region has been left out. This is a very critical discussion, because it's coming at a point when the state government civil servants have been, or rather government vocal machineries have been saying that there were roads that were destroyed in Nyanza region during the protests, and whenever there are protests and those roads are destroyed, then it's clearly that those areas get affected. Or probably when these roads are destroyed and government uses money to construct those roads. Now, there is some of the regions that have been left out. The Nyanza region seems to have been left out, but it's also very clear that it's also very true that this is taxpayers' money. This is money collected on those who are using cars and buying fuel. So if it was to be maintenance, there is some few indicators that I want us to put up there. There are some very few indicators I want to drag from that report. Number one, the first indicator is that Western Kenya has scooped 10 out of 167. Now, if you compare Western Kenya to Central and Rift Valley, many will actually think that they are number 3 in the chain of command, or even in the power sharing deal, because part of this, those who made this report actually wanted to create the perception, or they wanted to create the picture, to paint the picture of areas that the way the maintenance is being done are areas that are hostile to President Ruto benefiting. And if you're to look at it in that manner, then you realize that to some extent the Western grip, or rather the Western stake in Mount Kenya is not that much convincing. In Kenya Kwanza is not that much convincing, because despite of the fact that they have Musalia Mudavadi and they also have Moses Wetangula as the Speaker of the National Assembly. Now, I will not want to look at it that way. It's not a very welcome way of looking at development, because I do believe that in everything there should be regional balance, or there should be equality. It should not be, of course, different areas have different demands. If you look at even areas, even if you look at the geographical location, there is a difference between the size of Rift Valley, the size of Central and the other areas, and even Nyanza. But it cannot be a coincidence that the Nyanza region doesn't have even one. You know, it cannot be a coincidence. And someone should not tell, and someone should not tell us that it's because they are destroying roads. The same people are destroying roads. I come from Siaya. So when I fuel my car here from Nairobi to Siaya, and most of us fuel our cars to that place, we also pay that levy. So when it comes to remittance of the levy, it doesn't know whether your area is protesting or not. And I don't think it's a very welcome space. It's not a narrative that someone would actually want to entertain, that why would we maintain while probably they are going to destroy? And this maintenance, does it depend on what destroyed? Okay, does it depend on what destroyed the roads? It is a question that really we have to face soberly, because it cannot be it. The other observation I'm making here is, and there are the Jalan'gos, the Eliudowalo, the Raymond Molo, and people from Luo Nyanza who are also holding plum government positions in Kenya Kwanza. And they've always tried to project themselves as agents of development, or as people who went to bring development to the people. And there seems to be, when this kind of, lack of a better word, when this kind of report of discrimination is emerging, then it's really leaving them shamefaced, because it says, why can't they raise? I think if you want to be shown as if you're fighting for your people and you're not fighting for your own stomach, then these are kind of queries that they also need to join and raise. Even if they cannot raise in public, but they have the audacity to make the relevant calls and ask, why is this happening? So you will actually understand that some of these people that have been around Kenya Kwanza and have tried to project themselves as people that are bringing development for the region are going to find it difficult to sell the development agenda clearly, because it doesn't come out well. It doesn't really come out well that such like a report is emerging. There are also people who are come from that region, plum government positions. They even crossed over from the Azimio side to join government, and they were taking development to those areas. While when such a report emerges that the regions that have been left out, they can keep quiet. Now, I want to look at it also differently. And do Kenya Kwanza have a plan to, is this plan to punish Raila or the voters? You know, it's about us asking that question, because recently I remember there was an attempt by Easy Coach, and that is a transport company that plies the Nyanza route, giving a memo that they wanted to stop carrying omena from those regions to Nairobi. And it brought a lot of problems. And I think people raising questions that we give you business, you carry us to Nairobi, you ply our route, it is our market area, and you can't carry our product, which is a product which is our economic activity, then it means it is an economic sabotage against the region. And I remember that narrative of economic sabotage against the region, or rather the ethnic profiling, is actually then gaining momentum. That was first. That was second one. The first one was on the killing, which was it was actually skewed, that people from the Luo community really were affected. it's true, it's in the public that quite a number of Luos died during that protest. And there have been a lot of analysts raising the questions on ethnic profiling now. Just before the dust settles, another report emerges that a region has been left out of some road network. Does it worry William Ruto that this will then escalate the ethnic profiling? And I want to ask it, and that is why I'm looking at it this way. Do someone see it as, you know, affecting Raila or punishing the voters? Is it punishing the voters? Because there is one thing, the Luo Nyanza did not vote for William Ruto. They did not vote for Kenya Kwanza administration to the last month. They did not, of course. And it's not only Luo. Not quite a number of areas. Even the coast is been left out. Is there a plan? And it looks like a strategy that William Ruto has insisted and is looking at the 2022 political playbook so that he can maintain the political, his voting base of Rift Valley and the central Kenya. Even if this report would emerge that those areas have been left out, do someone look at it as going to excite those areas and give them some special treatment so that they feel, they will always say that, you know what, we did not give those regions development because they did not vote for us. And Rigathi Gachagua said that they are entitled to what they are getting because they voted for William Ruto. It's a question that we need then to have now. Looks like a strategy that Kenya Kwanza has laid, that we must excite our voting bloc, the Rift Valley and the central Kenya. And everything in terms of resource allocation and what is going to be done, we must give those two areas priorities. In the sense that maybe if you decimate Raila Odinga voting zone, maybe base, then you will try to excite the other bloc. Or is it also looks like probably a punishment that because you did not vote for me, nothing about you. When Opiyo Wandayi raised questions that farmers were registered, some farmers were registered in Luo Nyanza, quite a number, and they did not get the subsidized fertilizer. Rigathi Gachagua will then say, we can make a very clear statement that the farmers from Nyanza did not get fertilizer because by the time they were supposed to go for fertilizer, they were on the protest. I'm like, what? The protest happened in the first week of July. And the first phase of the protester is not the farmer. Let's be honest here. A protester, the person who was protesting is not the farmer. The farmer was farming. So, and they decided to play political propaganda with a very critical issue that Opiyo Wandayi raised. And that is why this report, I think probably, it is upon Eliud Owalo, the Jalan'gos and the Karel Omondi and Elisha Odhiambo, these MPs and these leaders that are bonding with William Ruto to start raising questions that what exactly is happening, because it cannot be a normal coincidence. Thank you.